Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday, the 4th of June. I'm Gary Peer.
And I'm Aviv Samuel.
And it's good to have you on the show, Aviv Samuel. I have to look a little bit higher up than I'm used to looking like that with Philip. But you know, I've gone and got my hair cut, I've cleaned up my act, and I've been abandoned by my partner because I think if he can't have a go at me, there's no point being here. So he gave me a hard time about my eyebrows, about my hair. I cleaned up my act, and lo and behold, he's gone. But he will be back. Maybe not next week, but he'll be back very soon. Aviv, big weekend.
Absolutely.
Big weekend. Let's just talk a little bit about what it was. The start of winter has happened, of course. Although was Saturday winter? Saturday was winter, wasn't it? Saturday the 1st of June.
First of June on Saturday, and it was a great way to kick off the new season.
It was. You could call it a hot winter, actually. Now it's good to have Viv on the show. For those that don't know Viv Samuel, of course we often will on this show, in a very light-hearted and loving way, mock those Samuel brothers when they come into town. I think you've probably heard that.
Riding in all the time.
The Samuel brothers come riding in high on their horse and look out. And of course, Aviv is a partner in our business, working with Lior, his brother, and a great team of people who are growing and forever expanding and doing incredibly well in our Carnegie office, which from the day we opened, the phone just was ringing off the hook, literally, which was very exciting for us. But good to have you here.
Thank you.
We've got some great and exciting results to talk about. Our clearance rate this weekend, do you remember the percentage?
We had a pretty busy weekend overall at Gary Pier. We sold 19 from 22, with total at 86%. So I think it's time to get those towers up, Gary.
Against the industry average was 64, according to REA, 65 domain. We'll put it at 65. 65 versus?
Number 86.
Number 86, good show. It was a long time. Oh no, it was number 96.
Sorry,
there we go. 86% versus 65%. Put up the towers. Throw a little bit of confetti on. Time for a bit of boast music. We love the boast music. There it is. Love that. So congratulations to our team. Well done to our sellers. Well done to the people that bought from us. And you know, we had a few people that actually, one particular client who sold very recently and just bought the house in Gardenvale, actually, in Gardenia Road, Gardenvale. So many sales, so much happening. I'm starting to get a little bit lucky. Philip's not here, but give me a hard time. But so that was amazing. So some of our buyers, some of our sellers become buyers, some of our buyers become sellers. But a very, very exciting weekend. And of course, when we review through our notes, we've got plenty of them to talk about. Before I do that, you know, there's always generally a theme we talk about, and I just want to talk a bit about the sweet spot, because I think we've found, and we talked about it before we went to air, the sweet spot, probably between, say, 800 and 1.1. Would it be as wide as that, do you think?
Well, I think it sort of caters more for the downsizers, people that are empty nesting from a big house right now. What we're sort of finding very popular is those single level villa units as well.
Yep.
More towards that 800 to sort of 850. We're finding a lot of the first home buyers entering the market. The good thing about those villa units is that you've got single level majority of the time. You've also got a lock-up garage. You've got a good space for a living room. You've got a kitchen meals area. And people love the outdoor garden spaces as well. And no one being above. So they've got plenty of privacy and no one overlooking them. And it's definitely a sweet spot at the moment in the market. We had a pretty busy weekend in one particular auction. We ended up having 11 bidders for in Glen Huntley.
Yeah, I can't remember 11 bidders before, and I can't remember 11 people getting a chance to even bid. So it was quite an extraordinary auction. But if I had to take as kind of a average of those 11 bidders, and we'll talk a bit about it in more detail, but you know, I think when we talked about that sweet spot, and you're right in terms of what you had to say, I think there are people downsizing, but I think there's also people upsizing, as you said. It seems to be that a single level villa offers something better than an apartment for a lot of people, an upgrade for an apartment. It offers accommodation and land that you can't get in a home because you can't afford it, of course. And it does give someone that, so that seems to be the sweet spot in real estate as of last weekend anyway. We had a bit of a day of villa sales on Sunday. I think there was 4 of them, 3 or 4 of them. So really busy day. But let's talk a little bit about that one particular sale, because 11 bidders is extraordinary. It was in Wattle Avenue. We reviewed the price range. We don't need to sort of talk about the price. We reviewed the price guide, and lo and behold, so everybody who was interested appreciated the fact that we increased it based on the interest that we had.
That's right.
Our vendor was always prepared to meet the market.
Correct.
The comparable sales were drawn out in terms of what we thought we might achieve. So we actually had a fixed figure reserve, but lo and behold, 11 bidders competed and it went right over that figure. What was it about that property you think that made it so popular?
Well, I think the fact there's the lack of stock of villa units on the market, that is definitely what the
lack of supply.
Lack of supply, and definitely a demand.
Yeah,
and
high demand.
Especially what's really interesting is right now that pocket of Glen Huntly and Wattle Avenue. It's a great spot because they've just done the refurb of the Glen Huntly train station. You're within walking distance to Glen Huntly Road, where you've got the 67 tram that can take you to Carnegie, or it can take you to the city via Elstonwick, via Elwood and St Kilda, etc., all the way through. But also, it's just up a lot of young buyers, and it's just a great sense of community in the area.
Yep.
So
got some nice parks, that reserve.
That's right.
On the Buran Reserve as well.
Around the corner from there as well, and also in the process of, which is under construction now, which is the Carnegie Pool.
That's right.
So it's a matter of time before that pool opens, and that's another great
opportunity for kids
for
to splash around
Spot on.
and have some fun. So that property we're talking about, we've been going a little bit around in circles, I'm sure it's probably on the screen, was 483 Wattle Avenue, Glen Huntly. That is a representative of the sweet spot and the hot property of the week, no question about that.
Yeah, in a subdivision of 4 as well, Gary.
Small subdivision of 4,
double garage.
certainly, red hot, and everything sort of led to that auction just going off big time on the weekend. But look, certainly wasn't our only auction. We did start off during the week, actually, before the weekend, with a block of apartments in Celeste Court in St Kilda East. And I want to say g'day to Frank, because Frank says to me, I watch this every week. And Frank is one of the original owners of that building, which had been in that family.
For many years?
Decades, I think, something like 50 years. So well done to Matt Morley and Daniel Bickbucker, who are our apartment specialists, apartment sales specialists. But this particular block went and sold to a family who actually from the peninsula, one of the people on an investor family. But well done and congratulations to Frank, and g'day, shout out to you, and thank you for the opportunity. We've managed it for many, many years for our clients. They sold for $3,020,000, which is kind of almost right in the middle of our suggested range. So well done to buyer and seller alike, a fantastic result, and two very keen buyers, both investors. So I think investors, there are investors that still see value. I know that Victoria's had a pretty bad rap in terms of how things are here at the moment, but this is a state too good to not come back. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of how long will it take. But ultimately, when you think about the landscape of our city, when you think about the facilities, it's the event city of Australia, this part of the world, with the races, with the tennis, with the footy, with
sporting capital of Australia. Literally.
Absolutely, with everything, with the races. I talk about car and horses. We won't talk about horses too much because it's a sore topic. But and of course football, and it has been. I'm sorry for you, but it has been for a Carlton supporter, for a cocky, brash, and smart Carlton supporter. It's been footy heaven, because Carlton won, beat a great team over there. Collingwood lost, Essendon lost, St Kilda and Melbourne lost. Some of our rivals, traditional rivals. So the Carlton supporters are up and about and crowing until we get put in our place, which won't be long.
Just a minute, just got to take a minute to reflect. Have you seen the ladder today?
I haven't seen the ladder today.
Essendon sitting second on the ladder still.
Even
though we lost to the Gold Coast, we're still up there. But the good news is, it's going to be a very interesting game. As an Essendon supporter and a Carlton supporter here, we clash heads on Sunday.
We're going to war. So it's going to be big.
Day.
It's going to be big. And I've got to say also that we usually have a sales meeting on Monday mornings. We are not having a sales meeting next week after the long weekend. And I think it's actually due to the fact there is so much strong Carlton and so much strong Essendon support here that whatever happens, it's just too ugly to actually have us all meet. We need a few days to get over the result, whichever one it is. But anyway, if you're a Carlton supporter like I am, well done. Go the Baggers. Let's keep going though. 937 Crimea Street, St Kilda. Well, that was a very popular auction. 4 bidders fought that out to beyond its range, sold for $585,000. Property that didn't sell, I want to talk about, one of the best homes that we've really ever marketed in Elstonwick was 62 Allison Road. You've had a look through this home. Isn't this a beautiful property?
What an absolute gorgeous thing. Philip did such a beautiful video on that.
Yes,
so if you've got a moment, I would take that opportunity to go online and watch that video. That's the next level architect and design in such a great location. I was actually dropping my kids to school around the corner the other day and happened to drive through Allison Road. And what a beautiful wide street, especially in autumn, the leaves dropping. It was beautiful. It's a really nice pocket.
It is a beautiful street.
And it's in within walking distance to Elsternwick, to the hub there. And you grew up, didn't you
I
grow
grew
up
up in Gordon Street, but I lived in Allison Road. I lived in Allison Road for 13 years and miss it and loved it, and love selling in that street. And this home has not yet been sold, but if you are looking for one of Elsternwick's finest homes, this home, with a 4 in front of it, the price will be, is available to be bought. But what a fantastic property. Talk about Elsternwick, it's not far from Elsternwick to get to Elwood. I had the pleasure of meeting Daniel and Arlene, Daniel Peer and Arlene Joffe, at the auction of 7 Beam Merthyr Street, Elwood, which we've sold to the people who owned it many years ago and sold it now for them. Look, this is kind of, I guess, reminiscent of the pandemic when people bought property sight unseen.
That's right.
This property was also bought sight unseen, as I understand. The vendor was
in Singapore?
The buyer's son was in Singapore. The vendor was also someone who's travelled widely, but the actual buyer was in Singapore, was FaceTiming through that auction. It was passed into them as the highest bidder, and they ended up purchasing that property, I think, well, for 1,525. Great home, right in a beautiful pocket. So congratulations to the buyer of that and the vendors who we very much enjoyed meeting up with and dealing with. And just goes to show people will still buy homes sight unseen.
Correct.
So if they feel the position is good enough and the property is compelling enough and the price is right, people will jump in. 288 Payne Street was one of those properties that we sold on the weekend, and we're talking a bit longer about the property we sold because we've got no auctions this weekend.
That's right.
But 288 Payne Street was very popular. Now, this is a great real estate story because the person who bought it, this was sold, I think it was 4 years ago, for in the 8s, maybe 820, 830, thereabouts. It was sold. The vendors who own it, shortly after they purchased it, did it up, did some substantial work to it and improved it, and would have spent a fair bit of money on that and making it beautiful, and they did. Presented it beautifully. We had the honour and privilege of representing that vendor who bought it from us back to the market, and extraordinarily, the person who bought it was the person who missed it last time it was offered 3 or 4 years ago. So we get to see these incredible real estate stories and live them every day of our life. But how about that? I don't know if I can remember that happening. Some things are just meant to be, I suppose, and that was meant to be the home of the underbidder. They missed it last time. This time they were not going to get outbid. So congratulations to them, and well done to the vendor who had a competitive auction with 3 bidders taking it well above its range and expectation to $973,000.
Terrific work there by Daniel and his team, with Romy and Arlene. I know that they worked tirelessly too.
They did work hard on that, and it was a long auction, and I had kids running around, and with sort of these kids that were like emulating some sort of caped hero, and they were running in and out and around my feet. And this is part of the theatre of auction. You don't get that in-room auction. That's the street auction where things are really happening. You're exposed to all of the elements and everything that's going on. So that was a lot of fun. The other unit that was sold was in Oswald Street, first time sold in, I think it was something like 40 years or thereabouts. But 4 at 11 or 13 Oswald Street was another one of our villas that sold in Elsternwick. We've been really busy in Elsternwick. I know you sell a lot there as well.
That's right.
And we just love it. But 4, 11 to 13 Oswald sold for $770, which is right there in the price range. And just a few streets away in Gardenia Road, number 18 Gardenia Road, Gardenvale, just a jump away. You could just about get your driver and just, if you're a golfer, just smack it. If you hit it flush enough, you might make it. But 18 Gardenia Road, which was sold, and congratulations to the buyer and seller because the buyer of that was a seller of another home with us.
That's right.
So that was good. Just before we go, also onto some of the other new listings coming up, our bag, our Gary Peer bag, goes around the world, and it's recently now. Our Gary Peer bag has got into Portugal. I think we've got a photo of it, an image up there on the screen. Yes. So John, who is from the United States, who is our #1 fan, and g'day to John. And he was in Australia. He's an international man. He goes everywhere, this fellow. He loves to take our bag with him. And here is an image of the bag that is now in Portugal, our Portuguese bag. Shipped him to Madeira. So thank you, with a poem which is shared with us, which is lovely, baggy. Also, Robert Silverman has also taken our bag and he's actually put it right outside the studios, I think NBC Studios, there's an image of it now, in New York. So our bag, and actually that was the umbrella, sorry, corrected. It is the umbrella of Gary Britt Associates that has made its way to New York City. So we are spreading ourselves all around the world. Anyway, the other story that I wanted to just share is about the real estate agent that literally found the house, a bit of hot real estate now that we're talking about. Probably not really something to joke about, although no one got hurt, but a real estate agent has reorganised a few things in their home in, I think it's Avalon,
New South Wales.
in New South Wales. Now, well-intended agent, just moved a few things around in sort of styling the home, put a bag or some sort of plasticky thing underneath a light. Lo and behold, sadly,
Set alight the home.
burned down the house and ended up having a land-only sale, which was not part of the plan. So for real estate agents who watch this show, and I know many of them do, don't rearrange your vendors' homes. Just leave them as they are, because sometimes, even with the best of intentions, things don't always work out the way that they should. We have got some properties to talk about. We've got some auctions through the week. We have none on this weekend. We are paying homage to the King.
The King.
Hail the King.
The
And we are going to be having a bit of a auction break, but everything's going to be open, that's for sure.
That's right.
Let's talk about those, some of the homes that we have got coming up for auction this weekend. We have got number 3 Glencoe Street. Now, you know, no better street in the world as far as I'm concerned, but 3 Glencoe Street is coming up, and it's going to be auctioned tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Great semi, really spacious, this one. We've sold it once before. Interestingly, 4 bedroom, 2 bathroom, and somewhere in that kind of mid ones. It's very hard to get something like that in Caulfield North, wouldn't you think?
I agree, absolutely. And the good thing is this semi has one car spot and a nice alfresco area at the back. And as you're probably flicking through right now online, you can see the image.
Yes.
A nice, good-sized garden, perfect to host a family and friends.
Another fabulous period home hits the market on Thursday, also 5:30 p.m. I like these evening auctions. How do you feel about those?
Yeah, I love them. I remember we started these during COVID.
Yep.
It became the next best thing, and people started following on to we sort of led the trend, I guess.
Led the way, and off it went.
Yeah.
But they're good fun. They create a very nice vibe. So this one also 5:30, going up for auction on Thursday. Number 50 Oron Crescent. What a great looking home this is.
Absolutely. 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 2 car parks with beautiful character to this particular home. I think there's a bit of interest there, and it's handled by the team with Darren Krongold and Daniel Fisher. So I believe it should do well.
I think it should do well as well, and a great spot there. A couple of other homes just to feature on GPTV. A lot of people wouldn't necessarily, who watch the show, understand how good Hyatt is as an area. But if you go down Hyatt Road now, if you would have gone down there 5 years ago and gone down there now, it's like a twilight zone.
That's right.
It's like, is this the same strip or street? Have you been down there lately?
I do actually go to Hunky Dory from time to
that
time.
right?
Take the kids down there. It's a real
Very
up
good.
and especially we always laugh about Carnegie as being an area you got to hustle to get a car spot there. Try going to Hyatt now on a Saturday evening. It's just as busy.
Yep.
My actual brother lives in Hyatt with his wife
right.
and his 2 kids.
And you're not far from there.
That's right. And it's very close to Southland, and you've got great amenities in the area. So
And the beach is not far from there.
That's right.
So Hyatt is a fabulous suburb, and certainly this is a fabulous home. Number 11 Major Street is a major opportunity to buy a wonderful property. It has got great bones, this home. It's very, very adaptable. You could rent it out. You could live in there. You could improve it further. And some people are even talking about maybe knocking it down because the land is so attractive and has a perfect orientation. So Vanessa McGlynn and John Sweepo having a great time handling that one. I want to talk about possibly one of the greatest apartments that has ever hit the market. There's a video on this you can have a look at that Philip's done, walking around his favourite eateries in the Hawkesburn village there. But this property, 403, part of the Gurner development, 403 at 3 Robinson Street, Paran, or really Hawkesburn, I suppose you could say. Is there a better apartment if you've seen than this?
Wow, just looking at the pictures now, it looks absolutely amazing. It's big, open plan living, floor to ceiling windows, a lot of natural light. It's really something special.
The major bedroom, main bedroom, we can't call them master bedrooms anymore because that's sexist. The main bedroom is misogynist, and I'm not going to fall into that trap. So the main bedroom is one of the largest that you'll ever see. It's got 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, plenty of parking, but so many features. Great security in this terrific Gurner building. They've got a concierge there 24 hours. They've got their own dog wash facilities downstairs. We have a wine fridge. There's a lot, and a gym there. This is really a very, very beautiful and special building, a special property, and we look forward to showing you through. Daniel Peer and Arlene Joffe have enjoyed working on that one. Another property in Caulfield South that Arlene has been working on is 3-2A Royal Parade. Tell us a little about this one.
Well, I'm also involved in this sale, and it's great because this is a sale between Arlene, who's in the Caulfield office, and I'm in the Carnegie office. So she can
collaboration,
So we collaboration between the two of us. So we're both working from covering all bases of Glen and bringing buyers in. But it's a gorgeous, gorgeous apartment. It's got its own private entrance, tucked away at the back of the block in Royal Parade. It's got 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. Beautiful outdoor entertaining area. It's got a proper car park, not a car stacker, and a separate storage cage. And we've got the most delightful vendors there. And it's time they've started a family, and now they're ready to pass the baton on to either another new family or for a first-time buyer or someone who's going to really take advantage of living in that location.
Fantastic. So speak to Aviv directly on that one. He'll let you know more about. But that's one of our forthcoming auctions, and another forthcoming property that we're selling, which has been very exciting, is one at 450 Hawthorne Road, Caulfield South. What a great looking property that is. Yeah,
it's a beautiful, spacious 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2-car park house, very close to Princess Park, next to one of my favourite cafes too. But you've got Glicks and Glicks Bagels.
Yes,
and funny enough, growing up, there's a coffee shop in Elston called Aviv.
And that's right.
My nickname at school was the Bagel. So a lot of people used to pick at me and call me Bagel. So for those of you that didn't know, but
fair enough.
But Glicks is great, some great position, and this one should also do well this weekend.
Should do well. Not coming up this weekend. The weekend after, Sunday week. So plenty of good listings coming up, and we did have plenty of great homes. So there's quite a few homes coming through that have been listed this week. So well done to all of our team for that, and some exciting opportunities. If you're a buyer looking for something off market, give us a call, give our guys a call, because we'll have something wonderful to offer you out of our smorgasbord of new listings. So that's a big wrap on this week's GPTV, the winter edition. It was actually quite nice on the weekend. It was quite sunny, actually. It wasn't too cold, but there was a bit of a chill in the air. But there's no chill in the real estate market, I can tell you, and we're certainly getting plenty of people coming to our auctions, our opens, great clearance rates. We're going to give it a break for auctions this weekend, but everything will be open, and we've got some midweek auctions and some big exciting auctions coming up in the weeks ahead. So we'll look forward to bringing you all the news on GPTV. Thanks for joining me, Aviv.
Thank you so much. And just a quick shout out. Last week was a busy week in our household. On Thursday, I had my daughter Mika's 7th birthday.
Wow, happy birthday, Mika.
Thank you. And on the first day of winter, my youngest daughter Adele turned 5. So it was being an eventful household. Lots of parties. Nice, yeah. I just want to say happy birthday, girls, and we love you very much.
Shout out to the Samuel girls. They're accepting presents a little bit late. If you're watching this, they'll still accept your gift with gratitude. But good to see. You've got a busy house, haven't you, now?
Full of girls.
How old are all the kids now? We've got a 5-year-old.
So I've got Adele, that's 5. I've got Mika, that's 7. And I've got Sophie, who's 12.
Wow.
Yeah, full household of females. I grew up in a house of all males, and now completely outnumbered.
They're balancing the books a little bit there, so bringing some balance to it.
Yeah.
There you go. Full house, like the Krongold house, also 3 girls.
Yeah.
And they've got a girl dog as well. Do you have a girl dog as well?
Not yet. They've got 3 female fish.
Fair enough. So they're fair enough. Well, it's a happy home. We will see you next week on GPTV. Thanks for watching. I'm Gary Peer.
I'm Aviv Samuel. Have a lovely week. Thank you.